Okay, we'll get started. I'll call the meeting to order. This is the Rowley Board of Selectmen meeting for August 23, 2021. This meeting is being video and audio recorded by Rowley Community Media and will be televised live. Could everyone that's present please sign the sign-in sheet, if you don't mind? The first item on our agenda is a 7 p.m. Continued public hearing with Farmer Series Pouring Permit Liquor License application filed by Anonymous Brewing LLC for 60 Main Street. Kevin Moriarty, the owner of Anonymous Brewing, is requesting today's continued liquor license to be continued to the first Selectmen's meeting after September 8th. He sent Debbie the following message. Our hearing with the planning board was continued to September 8th. We need to modify the parking plan to resolve some issues that were raised. Given this, I would like to request that the continuance with the Board of Selectmen be extended to the first available appointment after September 8th. So based on Mr. Moriarty's request, a public hearing can be continued to Monday, September 13, 2021 at 7:10 p.m. if the board is in agreement. The board needs to vote to continue it to a specific date and time. Can I have a motion to continue the public hearing?
Give me that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'll second.
The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I have a minute?
Very brief though. Could you identify yourself?
My name is Dan Sapansky. I live at 66 Main Street. I'm a butter to the property in question for Anonymous Brewing. And I'm compelled to come tonight because I was unaware to make the last meeting that you had, but I did watch it on the video replay.
Right.
And in that meeting, Mr. Moriarty, who I've never met, made an accusation that somehow there was some collusion going on between you and I and what's happening on this property. And I do know all of you. I've lived in town for 35 years, and I also know the history of that property because I've lived next to it for 35 years. And I want Mr. Moriarty to understand that my interest in knowing what happens there is not, I'm holding everybody accountable. You've never come and talked to me about anything. And I am against what you're trying to do there because I don't think that's the location that there should be alcohol served. But don't make accusations. I don't know who's giving you your information, but it's misinformation.
And I apologize to the board via an email, and I should apologize directly to you too.
You should have.
Misinformed.
Okay, so we'll move on. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kevin. We're going to have a public comment period for the next 5 minutes. Anyone who wants to make a public comment can. All right. Second appointment is at 7:10, so we have a few minutes to kill. I'll pick up general business number 1, which is a road opening permit application from National Grid to install new gas service at 12 Vineyard Way. This has been reviewed and signed off by staff. Does the board have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I'll assume there are no objections. General business number 2, approved donations to the Council on Aging. COA Director Ellie Davis has provided the board with the attached list of donations, which consists of monetary donations to support the COA programs in accordance with state law. The board needs to vote to approve these donations. Can I have a motion to approve the donations?
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. General business number 3, a request from Water Superintendent Bob Gray to appoint Joseph Colburn to the position of distribution utility maintenance laborer. Can I have a motion to approve?
Give me that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Take up new business number 1, which is discuss our meeting schedule. The board needs to set the meeting date for September, October, November, and December. The board meets weekly from September through May. Proposed meeting dates are September 16, would be no meeting because that's the Labor Day holiday. September 13, That meeting may need to be at annex if the town hall ramp project is not complete. September 20th is the same thing. September 27th, anticipate meetings to resume at town hall. October 4, October 11, there will be no meeting. October 18, October 25th, there will be meetings. There will be meetings on November 1, November 8th. November 15th has been designated a tentative meeting date. November 22nd, November 29, there'll be no meeting. December 6, 13, 20, and 27, there will be no meeting. Meetings will be held in person and will start at 7 unless the chairman or the board decides to alter this plan. I guess we need a motion for this.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. I'll move on to old business number 1, which is an update on the Council on Aging flooring project. On July 26th, the board authorized staff to issue a purchase order to Atkinson Flooring in the amount of $7,260 to refinish the hardwood floor in the COA main room. Unfortunately, Atkinson Flooring has backed out because their wood flooring subcontractor let their workers' comp insurance lapse. Without this insurance, we cannot move forward with this vendor. We reached out to a couple of other vendors on the state contract to get quotes for this work. Pavilion Floor has provided the attached quote for a total of $9,755.68, which is $728.68 above the $9,027 funds available for the project. We may need additional money to cover the cost of repairs identified after the carpet is ripped up. How does the board wish to proceed? The Friends of the COA had previously offered to donate approximately $6,000 towards the project, but recently said they are no longer offering this donation. Does the board wish to ask the Friends to consider making a donation to cover the $728.68 shortfall, plus an additional amount to cover unknown repair work if needed?
Mr. Chairman, we also have the COA donation account under general business. You just accepted some that may be used to offset that if the Friends, since we don't have the Friends money for that. We could ask them if they would.
So should we
Yeah, if
ask the
there's
Friends?
anything unforeseen, we don't know, for
Right.
some reason, when this building was opened, for town offices, the selectmen at the time had put the carpeting down over that hardwood floor, so we just don't know, there's the original hardwood floors in a classroom. There could be pieces of wood that need to be replaced that just can't be refinished because of the conditions. We just don't know. We've looked under the corners in certain sections, but not the whole floor. So there could be some additional costs.
Okay, do we want to ask the Friends to consider making a donation to cover the shortfall? I mean, it seems
Or
like-
the COA board through their donation account.
Okay.
That should have been
Right.
clear in that.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
I'll give you a motion, Mr. Chairman, absolutely willing to fund the difference.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, take up our 7:10 appointment with Police Chief Scott Dumas. Chief, fine.
Good evening, Board of Selectmen. I'm gonna try to coordinate this because we have kind of big family members here. So I'm gonna ask Connor and Adam to come in first. And you can just stand up front there, because you got a center of attention, and then the family can just kind of mill over to the side, if you would. Or kind of crowd.
We'll mill over
We
here.
can do one at a time. They have to speak each one at a time.
Okay, well,
So you want to do Connor first?
we'll do Connor first. So you can stand. So you have Connor's family come in?
I mean,
There's a lot of them.
we need to think.
My brother Corey is also a police officer, he replaced, don't be shy.
She's getting sworn in too.
So,
Looks like it.
just a little bit of an introduction, we're still playing catch up as far as reserve police officers, trying to, we've had some turnover, and our reserves going to our full-time police officers, and just trying to find good quality reserve police officers is difficult, but we're very pleased to introduce to you both Connor Salvo and Adam Elmore. Both are Melita graduates. I'll talk about Mr. Salvo first. He's a resident of Raleigh. He's currently employed as a security guard at Layton PD Hospital. And he's also a reservist of the United States Marine in his function in the Marines with the Seabees. Mr. Elmore is a resident of Georgetown. He's here with his wife, who's expecting their first child very shortly. And he is currently employed with the Middlesex Sheriff's Office as a corrections officer. So I'm happy to present them to you and recommend that they be appointed as reserve police officers for the town of Raleigh. And I'll let you vote and then have town clerk swear them in one by one if you so choose.
Yes, thank you. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Like to say a little bit about yourselves, or anything to say?
I moved to Raleigh with my brother. He's a PV officer, and I fell in love with this town. I grew up in a small town, Middleton, and it just reminds me of how Middleton used to be.
Mhm.
And I'd love to have a family here and become a cop in the same town and do a great job.
Great.
Hi, Adam Elmore. I just moved to Georgetown about 2 years ago with my wife. Like the chief said, that we have a daughter coming next month, September. So just looking forward to get the family started and become a police officer.
You can work up plenty of extra hours.
Yep.
Just to get out of the house. Okay, so
I'll give you a motion to appoint both of them as reserve police officers.
I'll second.
okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome, happy to have you. Congratulations.
So Mrs.
Oh, yeah, hold on a
Yeah.
second.
Hold on, guys.
No, no, no.
Can't have yet.
She's gonna swear you in.
Connor, you're first, okay? You need to raise your right hand, and then you need to read this and this out loud.
I, Connor Salvo, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Reserve Patrolman during the term for which I have been appointed, so help me God. I, Connor Salvo, hereby accept the position of Reserve Patrolman in the Police Department of the town of Raleigh, Massachusetts.
Congratulations. I need you to sign right there, please. And you do need to come see me at my office.
Tomorrow?
That would be fun.
Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, Adam. You're next.
All right.
Same thing, raise your right hand, please. Read these two paragraphs.
I, Adam Elmore, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Reserve Patrolman during the term of which I have been appointed. So help me God. I, Adam Elmore, hereby accept the position of Reserve Patrolman in the Police Department of the town of Raleigh, Massachusetts.
Thank you. So if you guys just want to step outside, we'll meet you outside, and congratulations as we bring
Thank you.
Carolyn Lynch in.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Carolyn, come on in with your family. Not quite as big.
Isn't this funny? I coached Carolyn and used soccer in Ipswich.
Oh, that's
Long
awesome.
time ago.
So, so tonight I have the privilege of presenting Carolyn as a position for a full-time patrol officer for the town of Raleigh. We had a testing process which includes a physical fitness test, oral board, written exam. Oral boards out from without made up of people from within the department, but also outside of the jurisdiction. Also an interview with the chief, and as a result, You know, Carolyn, you know, came out on top of the testing process. She's worked as a reserve officer for the town of Raleigh since 2019. She's also worked intermittent with the town of Ipswich. She grew up and still resides in the town of Ipswich, but we won't hold that against her. She's also a graduate of Melita. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in criminology from Curry College. And Carolyn currently serves as a reservist with the United States Marine Corps. And the last thing. And I don't know how many people are aware of this, but Carolyn is the first female full-time appointed police officer for the town of Raleigh. So that's of course if the Board of Selectmen agree.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Do you want to say anything? Make a little speech?
Yeah, I've
Pretend you're
loved,
in court.
I've loved working for this town for the past 2 years, and I'm excited to continue working for this town, and, you know, I hope I get to see some of you on the street in a good way. But thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
And standing with before we swear in, Katie, standing with Carolyn is her sister Katie, and she's gonna officially pin the badge on her.
Oh, all right.
If you want to come up, hold up a second. Why don't you come up here? We're going to take a picture. That way it'll be a little bit better, a better view. Don't be too quick now. You don't want pictures.
Yeah, pose for it.
Careful, we take one as an individual officer.
This might be the opportunity she can look
That's true. There you go.
That you can say a word.
There you go.
Nice job.
That's awesome.
Yep, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Raise your right hand. I'll take it. Take this. And you need to read this. I, Carolyn Lynch, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of full-time patrol officer during the term for which I have been appointed, so help me God. I, Carolyn Lynch, hereby accept the position of full-time police officer in the police department of the town of Raleigh, Massachusetts. Congratulations. The finished paperwork.
Last time you took that oath, you wanted him parasilent.
I know. Congratulations.
This might be worse. Congratulations. Good luck. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Feel like I have you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is a 7:15 appointment with Kevin Moriarty of Anonymous Brewing LLC to discuss a one-day liquor license application for a sampling event on the town common on September 4th, 2021. Kevin Moriarty of Anonymous Brewing submitted the attached application for a one-day liquor license to hold an event in the town common on Sunday, September 5th. This request is two-folded, request to use the town common for an event and request for a one-day liquor license for the event. The application requests to allow him to provide samples of his product and to sell his packaged product to go on the town common. ABCC confirmed that if the board grants the one-day liquor license, the applicant can sell drinks or sell giveaway samples to be consumed on premises, but cannot sell or give away drinks to be consumed off premises. We circulated the one-day liquor license application, town common use to our town department heads for their review and comments. Chief Dumas submitted one response. I'd like to read his comments. I do have a few, this is Chief Dumas, I do have a few concerns with this request. If it were to be granted, I would make the following recommendations. This is a Saturday on a well-used public property. I would suggest a tent or corralled off area to those that are participating in the sampling, tasting, with no consumption allowed outside of that area. The applicant is expecting 30 to 40 at peak, which could mean a couple of hundred in a total within the 4 hours. That number may be low. They are marketing their event on their social media platforms as well as Raleigh community pages, essentially advertising free alcohol. Parking may be an issue. 3, given that alcohol is being served in the event is 4 hours, a portable restroom is recommended. 4, a detail officer would be required considering the alcohol potential parking issue. 5, there may be an issue in granting this one-day license to this applicant. According to the ABC website, local licensing authorities cannot grant a one-day special permit to any person that has an on-premises license application pending before them. I'm not sure the reasoning for that. The call place event was met by an answering machine. Regarding Chief Dumas's last concern about granting a one-day license to an applicant with a pending on-premises license application, the ABCC has informed us that it's up to the board of selectmen to decide, and that the section of law that states this pertains to applications for licenses under section 12, whereas the pending application with Anonymous Brewing LLC is under section 19. I'd like to review for a couple minutes the types of situations, and we granted permission to outside groups to use our town common. In 2014, the board issued to Alfalfa Farm a license to offer samples of their wine and sell bottles of their wine for off-premises consumption at the Raleigh Farmers Market, which was an agricultural event sponsored by the Raleigh Agricultural Commission. We confirm with the ABC that this special license can only be given to wineries and not to farmer breweries per state law. The only one-day liquor license issued for an event on the town common that we can recall in recent years is for the chili cook-off fundraiser held by the Friends of the Raleigh Public Library. There was a designated beer garden for that event. The board, as I said, also needs to authorize the use of the town common for this event. The board needs to review parking issues around town, especially with the proximity of homes and the feudal home. The board should determine if there's a need for a portable restroom or if there are any trash removal requirements. If the board approves this application, in addition to any other conditions that may be applied to the liquor license or the use of the town common, the applicant must submit an updated certificate of insurance showing proof of liquor liability insurance that names the town of Raleigh as an additional insured. That is a recommendation from the town's insurance company. None of the other departments has any comments that I recall.
The Board of Health had a question about the trash.
Right. Board of Health like to request that all trash be removed from the town common at the end of the event, and if a portable restroom is used, then it be removed as quickly as possible. So in reviewing our precedents, if you call them precedents, we've allowed people to use the town common if they were part of a government effort, like the Agricultural Commission, the Farmers Market, or if they're nonprofits like the Girl Scouts, or if or the Friends of the Public Library. I don't think we've ever allowed the town common to be used for a purely commercial operation, which is essentially a marketing attempt by that enterprise. I don't think we've ever done that before. And we've never authorized the use of alcohol itself, except in conjunction with other activities like the chili cook-off and things of that nature. So there's some questions that need to be addressed, whether the board's willing to do that. So, how are we going to proceed?
Can I just give you a quick overview of
Sure.
what I intend to do?
Sure.
So, as you said, it is essentially a marketing effort, but it's not in a bad sense. I just want to introduce the brewery to the community because I intend to have a very community-oriented business. And my goal is to get off on the right foot, like I did with the last video. So I want to have a nice opportunity for people to come, taste the products, have a conversation with me. We can spend a few hours just sort of going over what we plan to do in the future with the brewery in front of the community. So that's essentially what our plan is. Knowing what all of the concerns are with the police department, Chief Dumas, and the Board of Health, we're super flexible with anything that you guys recommend or that they recommend. It's meant to be a real laid back event, nothing too crazy. And I did want to point out the chili cook-off. I was the champion. I make a mean chili. 2 years. 2 years. The 2 years that they ran it.
What does the board wish to do?
Where does the liquor license stand at this point?
Pending.
Pending. Okay. We don't know. Just pending, that's all.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just kind of opposed to this. I feel strongly that we allow a business to use the common and serve alcohol or with opening a door, which we've never opened before. We've done it with nonprofits, in conjunction with food, which you cook off when the farmers market had it. That's allowed under state law. I'm just, I find it, I don't know what the right word is. I'm just a little bit opposed to this. The applicant is coming before us in September for approval license. And I think this is putting the cart before the horse. And I would, even if he gets a license, I would still be opposed to having it on the common. I just think it doesn't serve as a good use of the common, and it also would be a bad precedent moving forward, because that would open the door up to restaurants and other ones in town with the licenses. So they did it, we want to do it. It would be hard pressed to say no. So I just assume vote no. For that reason, I think it sets a bad precedent. I'm kind of opposed to us having alcohol served in the town.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because it is a precedent, it would be a precedent. Any kind of company could have an event on the town common with liquor or without liquor. You're free to do this, but you need to find your own property and not use public property. I don't think the people in town really would want us to authorize this. It's one thing when you do a chili cook-off or a farmer's market. That has a public aspect to it that this yours doesn't. So I'm going to vote no on this.
I'm comfortable with the liquor license being pending. So that doesn't mean a lot of that license yet.
So yeah, I think that this would be a great idea if you did it maybe working with the VFW or working with Mill River, if you could set up a day in conjunction with a business outside of property. The thought of everyone out in the hot sun drinking beer on the common without food, I think that not super safe idea with kids walking and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. The precedent is a fair argument. Again, it was something that came to mind as an opportunity for me to chat with the community. But I'll go back to the drawing board.
Or maybe, like if you could work with the VFW, work with, another business in town, see if you could set something up. Might be a little easier than trying to go to the property.
That's fair.
Okay, so can I have a motion to deny the application for a one-day liquor license and to also deny the request for the use of downtown.
Give you the motion, Mr. Chairman. I'll second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next on the agenda is a 7:25 appointment with Thomas Summit, Farmer Gardens LLC, to discuss the host community agreement. Well, the board met with Mr. Summit of Farmer Gardens on August 9 to discuss his marijuana growing business plan. The board agreed to move forward with Mr. Summit to the next step, which is to execute a host community agreement. Mr. Summit had submitted a draft host agreement to the town, which was forwarded to town council Tom Mullen. Tom Mullen reviewed it and made the following comments, which I reviewed last week. One of the comments Tom made was to point out, and he just wanted to make sure that the selectmen were aware of this. He's not saying we can't do it, but he's saying, look, the statute authorizes us to charge an impact fee as high as 3%, and we are only asking for a 1% impact fee. I think the board is aware of this, but just so the board understands, we're seeking 1% impact fee, not the full 3% impact fee. He had some comments, additional comments on the terminology, any laws. He agreed that should be changed to any state or local law, which I think makes limited sense. And third, because Farmer Gardens objects to reciting that some impacts are inevitable. Tom Mullen says, here I have to insist on my language. The town has the power to exact an annual payment as a community impact fee. The law provides that such a fee shall be reasonably related to the cost imposed upon the municipality by the operation of the marijuana establishment. Should there ever be litigation about whether the fee received by the town is justified by community impacts, I want the language of the agreement to help us, not hurt us, especially if, as I now understand, the selectmen may be willing to accept the 1% fee. A written acknowledgement of some community impact is a small concession for the applicant to make. Do you have a problem with that? No? Okay.
Not at all.
So is the board's agreeable with the 1%
Yeah.
fee? I think we can vote to approve this.
Yeah, I think we've had a minimal impact anyway.
Yeah, it is.
All the businesses that, we're not trying to hold these people up.
No. It hasn't been a great impact. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the host agreement?
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Seconds?
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
So, Mr. Chairman, we have a host agreement that will be signed by both parties.
Does the board need to sign this?
Yes,
But not just
you're
me.
on the left side,
Yeah.
that was just the way it was put together. We could have all members just sign in a row.
Yeah.
Underneath that.
Okay.
Underneath it.
Yeah, okay.
Underneath those things.
She signed over 10 pens, you
I don't mind for a fee.
We give them out to people.
For an extra 1%.
Well, you guys have got that.
Oh, Debbie, you lost your time anyway.
I'm giving them back.
Dave.
Well, good luck. It's been a long road for you.
Oh, yeah, well, we got a couple of town things to do, right, the outreach meeting. And,
Yeah, right.
special permit, but,
All right, well, good
we'll
luck.
get it done, but, you need,
So we'll get you a copy,
Yeah.
maybe you can send them tomorrow.
Okay, no
Just get
problem.
it and email it to you.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the business is an update on Triton District Communications Committee meeting last Thursday, which I was unable to attend, but Joe attended. The DCC discussed the facilities assessment report of the high school and middle school. Attached is a copy of the executive summary of the report that was distributed at the meeting. Joe will discuss the meeting highlights with the board. Joe obtained full copies of the report, which Elaine distributed on Friday.
I want to stress that it was said at the meeting that this is not a proposal. This is an assessment of the needs for the senior high school and the middle school. And I put a copy of the assessment in for each of you and for Debbie. I thought that the assessment was very detailed and they gave a lot of information. The school is in tough shape. It was built in, they first opened in '69, and it's run down in a lot of areas. And unfortunately, schools get older, buildings get older, and the whole campus needs some work. There were various comments by the people who attended. We had quite a large attendance. Almost the whole board of Salisbury showed up, and there were members of the finance committee from Newbury and the board of Selectmen. So everybody was interested. There were a lot of comments about the price tag. They're suggesting, again, it's for the assessment was $58 million. And I don't think that begins to cover what the school needs.
I'm sorry, Justin.
I don't think that covers what the school needs for renovation. I think it just puts a Band-Aid on it. That's only my personal opinion. But if you read through and look at some of the pictures, it's very detailed. I disagree with some of the, they have it structured into what's needed immediately, what could be pushed down the line, and so forth out to the future. I think that some of the things need to be switched around, but the school does need a lot of work.
So you're saying they haven't made a proposal, that means the school committee has not voted on this? I mean, they
Not
haven't
at all.
decided to go ahead with it?
What they plan to do is to set up more meetings with the district communications. We sat in desks and we were watching the presentation on the screen. And when we meet again as a district communications, we'll go back to our table, a round table set up and discuss the plan. There wasn't very much time for questions. They took a few at the end of the presentation, and there's a lot to do, a lot to look at.
Joe, what kind of comments did the other towns make? Did anybody probe on, or just general informational questions?
There were a lot of comments that on the cost. The estimate of $58 million really hit. Or, that's a lot of people.
This is gonna be a project with the MSBA, are they gonna share some of the costs?
They are planning to go to, put a request into the MSBA.
Right.
But if you remember, I was part of the Pine Grove team.
Right.
And we submitted, the year we submitted our application, there were 95 applications from different communities in different school districts, and only 15 were selected. So with that kind of an odd, it's going to be difficult. We could luck out a second time and get selected, but I think it's going to take, my estimate, again, just looking at it personally, I think it's underrated. I think it's going to be, if they really go through the steps and looking at all of the possibilities and taking into account the wear and tear on that building, they're gonna need one.
But Joe, when was the middle school done?
They were both,
Because the middle school was under construction early 2000s, right? Because it used to be high school and junior high, and then the blue bricks in that picture?
yeah,
The renovation project was done
Yeah, that first renovation.
like around 2000, wasn't it?
right, it was a renovation in 2000.
Yeah.
But the middle school, they just separated it
Yeah.
into a 4-year high school into a 7th and 8th grade middle school. But the building, it was a junior high school when it opened. Junior high, senior high,
Yeah.
7th through
That
9th,
seems
10th through 12.
Joe, was there any talk
expensive.
of doing this in phases?
Well, everything's open for discussion, yes. They are projecting different phases, what the immediate needs are. It could be worked out over several years of renovations and working with all the.
Any mention of possible federal money for this? I mean,
No.
infrastructure bill.
Nothing was
going
mentioned
relief
that
bill.
meeting.
So that $56 million or $54 million, is that at today's price?
Is that a what?
Is that at today's price? Or is
Yes,
what-
oh, you have to take into account, they asked this company to come in 2019. Okay, in the fall. Of course, COVID hit in 20, so that but they have updated based on today's prices. So, the cost of lumber is up, other costs are skyrocketing, so the prices are current, but, if we delay it, that pushes up our cost.
Any building project, it's 1 year down the line, you push it 1 year out, it's 4%. Every year you push the project out.
That's
I
almost.
mean, that's with highway projects, that's how it works.
Right.
That from the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, working that way, so.
Oh my gosh.
But it's possible this includes inflated prices, construction materials, that will drop, so.
There are contingency.
But they usually,
Costs.
we talk about bridges and things, it's 4% every year. If you kick it down the road, so you kick it down the road, 2 years, you're talking 8% when you start the project.
I think we're gonna have to sit around and go over the plan, we're gonna have to look at it at the meetings, the district communications, and talk about everything, and then, and I think it's gonna take at least a year before we are ready to bring it back to the towns.
I guess if we were gonna be 3 or 4 years before we put a shovel in the ground.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Between trying to get the proposal set, you gotta get all 3 towns to approve, it has to be unanimous, right? If we apply to MSBA, that's a long, drawn-out process, if we know from
That
road.
is.
So I'm guessing, if we get something to the ground in 4 years, we'll probably move on. Because assuming that everything goes along and gets approved, it's probably a big difference.
Yeah, we have to hit the milestones.
We'll require an override for all 3 towns, it's funded. But the other overrides.
How else would we get to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big project, it's gonna require a lot of discussion, a lot of input, so yeah. It's good to get it out on the table anyway, so, see where it goes.
So the assessment for each town is based on school enrollment, is it like, just like there are?
I believe it's the same breakdown as the,
In which case Salisbury would take the highest.
but if you break it down, our assessment would be in the neighborhood of $20 million. Overall.
Oh my gosh, that seems,
I think without MSBA kicking in, with 50% give or take, it's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah.
Even with the MSBA, it's gonna be a tough sell. Without it, I think it's it'd be real tough, I would say, but hey, all we can do is try and see. That definitely needs work, and I read through the report myself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas, and keeping in mind that they're not upgrading much of anything, it's mainly patching and
That's what
fixing
I'm
what's,
afraid of.
fixing what's broken.
They're only patching.
Unlike Pine Grove where we put in, upgraded all the communications and phone, electricity and air conditioning and so on and so forth. This is, appears to me, and I just perused it briefly, but it appears to be mostly patchwork and, bringing things up to current standards, not looking at, where we're going.
That's why my estimate was that, again, it's only my personal feeling, that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that there really is a lot of work that has to be done, and this isn't even close. And I remember, if you permit me one further comment, that when we were talking about the Pine Grove, and we went into the board, and I said, wow, we're asking for $39 million, and the estate was gonna reimburse us for about 50%. And they said, oh, that's small potatoes. Somerville is building a new high school for $254 million.
Wow.
Well, we're not that.
That's so, it seems like 58 million just to patch these issues seems so expensive.
No, I think, like I said, I looked at it quickly, I'm sure there's some upgrades there, but basically didn't seem to be as extensive in terms of upgrades as we did with Pine Grove. It really required extensive upgrades. This is more or less fixing what's broken or in need of fixing. And at some point, they'll be looking, they'll be looking for some upgrades at some point. So they may even look for upgrades now. If you're doing a project like this, you can't just look at the maintenance of it. You got to look at what's going on with
The largest number
enrollments and stuff like that. So
is 16 million just for electrical.
Wow.
Actually, it's 17 million.
I can't think of the names popping out of my head now. The Triton superintendent, not the superintendent, but the grounds and facilities. He couldn't,
Chris
Chris Walsh, he wasn't able to attend, and he would have been a great source to really get a hold of him.
But it's good to hear that they're not intent on moving this through quickly.
No, they're gonna, yes, they understand that they're gonna talk about it, and Salisbury was very excited. So, we'll be hearing about that for a while.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for attending. Thanks for
thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, we have a few updates. First one is the update on Town Hall Annex back door replacement project. The May 3rd, 2021 special town meeting approved funding facilities upgrades, which included $8,000 for the replacement of exterior doors of the annex. We have heard from many annex employees that the back door has been increasingly difficult to close and lock. The current wooden door is original to the building. It swells and shrinks due to moisture and temperature changes, which has to be a huge problem this summer. Since the annex became additional town office space in 1997, we have had carpenters shave off sections of the door to make it function properly, but this hasn't been a permanent fix. We plan to replace this door and side light with a fiberglass replica, because fiberglass doors are moisture resistant, they save energy, and are stronger and need less care than wooden doors. A fiberglass door can have wood grain to it and be painted black to match the existing door. Because the annex is located in the historic district, to reach out to Sarah Bork of the Raleigh Historic District to check if we need their approval to replace the back door and side light with a fiberglass replica. I'm not going to read her email, but she basically said, yes, it would need our approval, and it's likely they would not approve a fiberglass door because it's visible from the street.
They would not?
No. So,
Well, I would just like to say, Mr. Chairman, I've been involved with Libby and Amy in particular for the last number of years with door issues with that door. The frame is bad, the door is bad, it has been shaved down. Part of the problem with that particular door is it's on the east side. So every time we get any kind of a rainstorm, that door swells. And the issue with a fiberglass door is it doesn't swell. And when we got the approval for the handicap ramp, part of the approval was for a fiberglass door painted black. This door that's behind us here. Building, years ago, we put storm windows on the building. And this year, they approved aluminum replacement windows for the entire first floor, similar to what we have in Town Hall. I challenge anyone driving by the street in Town Hall to say that those are aluminum, those look like aluminum windows, because they don't. They are, but they're not. And I think it's cost-wise, it's foolish. I mean, I understand what the historic people are saying, but we're not changing the decor, we're not changing the image, we're not changing anything other than making the door better and more usable and less susceptible to weather conditions. And I just, at this point, if they won't okay it, I'm not sure what we can do, but I'm not even sure if it's worth putting another wooden door on that if they go for a few years. But Sarah mentions the fact we can put a door closer and stuff like that, which we have on here, but that's not going to solve the problem of the door swelling.
Right.
And fitting into the frame and the frame down, if you look at it,
Is that a fiberglass?
No, Mr. Chairman, we did replace the closer. We put all new hardware.
Yeah,
Mr. Peters, you may have.
The locksmith has been in there any number of times.
But we have replaced the closer on there, and the existing wooden door, that all has been replaced.
Yeah, we've had the carpenters in a number of times to make adjustments, and it goes for a while, and then it fails, so. I mean, I don't understand the reasoning. When you look around the historic district, they've allowed plastic fences and other things in the historic area. And we're gonna have a door that looks exactly like the door that's down there, other than it's fiberglass instead of wood.
I mean, a lot of.
I just suggest we go forward with it. I'm not sure what we can do if they reject it, but the reasoning is, to my mind, doesn't stand up to what the needs of the building are and needs of the town. It's not gonna make any difference in terms of when people drive by.
I agree.
I agree too. I mean, you have to get up real close to these fiberglass.
You actually have to touch them. Yeah, really, to actually see it. And the law is, anything within 200 feet, people, this building here, people drive by, they're not gonna know, they don't know this door is fiberglass.
Right.
And on top of that, we've got the Trex flooring for the handicap ramp, so I mean, we do the best we can within reason, and, as anybody knows, with accommodating handicapped people, you have to make a serious attempt to accommodate what the needs are. I mean, this is a case where the historic people need to kind of accommodate the needs for all those people who work in the building, all those people who come in and out of the building. When that door is not serviceable, people either have to come into this door or they have to go down to the other door. That is the busiest door in the building.
Yeah.
For the most part, because that's where everybody parks in the back parking lot, in that door, so.
I think, Dave, there's a lot of thinking today. It's 20 years old thinking, and they're thinking wood. And now we're in a world of fiberglass, and it's the maintenance on fiberglass door. And again, you really can't tell the difference. I go on the front of my house, I never put a piece of wood up again.
Yeah.
Door or a window. After you've gone into fiberglass looks exactly like wood. And you gotta get up close and touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable, just the maintenance on a wooden fence or wooden door, just don't do it anymore.
You look around, very few people put up wooden fences.
Yeah.
Like I say, in the area, in the historic area, there's a number of, at least a couple I can think off the top of my head that are plastic or fiberglass, whatever, I don't know what the composite is, but they're not wooden fences. They've been allowed to stand. They stand out as plastic fences. They don't look like a wooden fence. This here is gonna look identical to the one that's down.
And the maintenance to a wooden fence is like, if you don't stand it, you don't paint it, you're gonna put a new one up in about 4 or 5 years. Right out.
So, what is,
Well,
what's the
we're
question
asking,
before?
do you want us to get a wooden door?
No. I think we're saying no, we don't want a wooden door.
Yeah, I don't think a wooden door is gonna solve our
I
problems.
don't think it makes sense.
We do have a wooden door in the front. I absolutely understand that would be something that we would need to keep, if we ever replace it. We're not having any issues in the front. We do have some issues in the front,
Right.
but not as bad as the back.
Look, the front door is mainly the locking mechanism we've got trouble with.
Sometimes we have a problem.
And the other thing is the front door on the front Central Street, it's not the weather side, I mean, it doesn't get weather. This here, I can imagine
Doesn't get a lot of
this weekend
sun.
what the,
Doesn't get a lot of sun, the shades
yeah, stays
from the
damp all the
trees,
time.
so it does swell.
Because the door isn't
There are
tight,
problems. We had been here
water seeps in around the edge of it,
hours trying to lock it
rots out the
late
cells.
at night,
Yeah,
and then it's,
frame.
but I don't, these are the options. I don't know if you wanna mull it over or we just wanna the direction from the board of how you want to proceed.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we need to do any mulling. I mean, I think we both decided, fiberglass door is the way to go.
Yep.
Right.
So, I want us to file on behalf of the board an application with the HDC.
Well, I guess that's the next step.
I think we should move forward with the application and then see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we present our case. And if it gets denied, at least we tried to do the right thing.
Right. Yes. Okay, well, business number 3 is an update on the Green Communities Project. The Town Hall building envelope, the first phase of the recommendation on the energy audit is to approve the building envelope in the attic and basement of the Town Hall. This requirement is based on a phased energy saving approach. Firefly EES has submitted a proposal in the amount of $2,000 to prepare the scope of work for a competitive solicitation. The board needs to approve this proposal, authorize the town administrator to accept the proposal, and to submit it to the Green Communities Program for funding. So can I have a motion to do that?
Get that motion, Mr. Chairman.
A second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Town Hall HVAC. The other Green Communities Project is the installation of an energy efficient electrical HVAC system for the Town Hall. We requested a price proposal from Crossfield Engineering to design and engineer a new HVAC system for the first floor. Crossfield Engineering was the HVAC consultant from the police station and fire station building project. Their proposal includes work to determine the equipment size, preparation of the mechanical and electrical bid specifications, review contractor bids, and oversee construction. The price proposal is $22,000, which is considerably less than our other proposal, right?
Be too few, yeah.
What's that?
It would be too few, it was in the 30s.
We will be working with Crossfield to design the system so the units are placed in the rear of the building and are covered by lattice. Crossfield submitted an example of a system they recently designed for the Merrimack Police Station. The board needs to approve the proposal, authorize the town administrator to accept the proposal, and submit it to the Green Communities Program for funding. Anyone want to make that motion?
I think, Mr. Chairman, just a brief discussion first. It's similar to the door we have here. I think Debbie and Amy and Natalie can attest to the fact that the boiler at Town Hall is in bad shape. I know last winter there was Debbie was going down, or someone from the office was going down every 2 hours to let water into the boiler. But the guy, it needs to be replaced, if it's much about it, it's a chance to use community funds. It'll save energy, and it's a project that we badly need to do. So we're in a position now, if you don't get going on this within a year or two, I would say that boiler is probably going to fail. It's hard to get parts for our mechanical guy, it's here on a regular basis, keeping it going, so I think we definitely need to move forward on this. I noticed look at what Merrimack did, fire and police, well, Merrimack, if you look at page 3 of the package, the pictures, I was somewhat concerned. They're a little different unit than what was placed up at the police fire station. And I gather, the way I read the proposal would be the town hall would be a single unit. It it wouldn't have that hood on it like these do.
Right.
Yeah.
Also says no, and it would be hidden with lattice work that we could put right behind, I think we could put it right behind town hall, because the engineer will have to do that. But I think we definitely should move forward. It's a high priority, and we have the green communities and funding to pay for this, so which is a huge help.
Yeah.
And that would be something that's badly needed for the town, and the funding is as it is. So,
How old's the boiler in the basement?
It's a water system, and I believe it would be the first heating system that was
Ancient.
put
Oh,
in,
yeah, no, it's,
when it went to that type of heat.
So it's
There's a furnace part to it, there's a boiler part, and the furnace would be about 15 years old, like the burner part of it. But we do have leaks, we have a lot of leaks, like, we just had to replace some sections of pipe in the basement. You know, in the meetings, if you have a meeting in your office, you hear a lot of clanking and banging. It's sometimes hard to see in the other offices have that. Our company that services it, you know, they can't find anybody that has the expertise to fix pieces of it, because they're not made anymore, hard to find parts. And they did find somebody, he had passed away. It has a technique in these industrial boiler type of systems.
We can probably donate this to the Smithsonian.
So if we weren't doing this, which has the air conditioning piece to it, we could have gone to a gas system, which the library has, which this building has, we converted to gas. Library, the new building, built 20 years ago, was gas furnace. But we wouldn't have the air conditioning piece, which is a big draw on the energy consumption of the building. We've got to keep working to reduce energy, you know, in public facilities, and this type of system would really go a long way to do that.
I was reading in Sunday's paper.
Yeah.
The fact that the state is pushing these big on households. They're looking for houses to give up their gas and oil permits and put in similar to what we got Bob or what we got the police station, fire station, because they're so much more energy efficient. And there's so much, basically the pollution is non-existent from fossil fuels. So I think it's the right direction to go, and I think we need to bend over backwards to make this happen.
I looked at my electric bill this month compared to last year. It's half of what it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had a similar experience.
Yeah. It's
Less than half.
And the other thing is, when we opened the police and fire station, we estimated what the energy costs were gonna be. And when both chiefs came in with their budgets for this fiscal year, I was anticipating, wow, because those were much bigger buildings, and the fire department, obviously, was a whole brand new building. And prices, I wouldn't say they're reasonable, but they certainly were within what we expected. They weren't over the top in terms of price, so I think it's the right move to make.
It's the way to go.
Okay, someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Next update is in the Town Hall handicap ramp project. The ramp has been demolished. Based on field verified information, the contractor has verified that the ramp needs to be extended because of the elevation of the slope. Curbing need to be moved out by 2 feet. Chief Broderick tested the impact of the proposed curbing change with the fire ladder truck and had no issues making the turn. The work is necessary in order to build the slope of the ramp correctly within code. CBI recommended approval of this change. The cost is $5,017.38. Dave and I reviewed the information and approved the change order on our own authority. We request that the board vote to ratify that decision.
Yeah, this was something, Mr. Chairman, when Debbie approached us, the ramps obviously had torn down. If we didn't approve this change, it was gonna hold the whole project up for a lengthy period of time, and we needed to move forward on this. We already know the fact that this ramp wasn't built quite right, and the contractor had to come back and change it, and dig up cement. So the slopes are absolutely vertical. This is an essential, once again, is increasing cost, but it's essential to get the project going.
So can I have a motion to ratify that decision?
I give you that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Update on town landing project. The Concom is requiring a traffic count on the vehicles as parking at the landing. This work can be done by MVPC rather than through a consulting engineer. Bill Demento has been in discussions with conservation agent Brent Baselak and Bob Snow, who serves as a town representative to the MVPC. Bob confirmed with Brent the details of the location of where the traffic counts need to take place. Bob is requesting the board to approve 4 hours of MVPC local technical assistance to perform a traffic count study at the end of Warehouse Lane at the entrance of the town limit.
Much cheaper. Much cheaper.
Yeah, right, no. Yeah.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, an update on the town hall exterior trim project. Last fall, the exterior trim in the front and right side of the town hall was painted. We would like to move forward with phase 2 of the project, which includes painting the trim on the cupola, back and left sides of the town hall, as well as painting the LULA shaft. If there is sufficient funding, the second phase of the project will also include some trim replacement work discovered during the first phase, an option to replace additional rotted trim work that may be discovered on the unpainted areas. We would like this project to be completed this fall before the Town Hall Memorial Restoration Project begins, because a couple will need to be accessed via the front lawn of the Town Hall. Attached is a draft request for price quotations, which is currently being reviewed by Tom Mullen. That the board authorize the release of this request, subject to the inclusion of any edits recommended by Tom Mullen.
And once again, Mr. Chairman, this is one of those projects that the office has been working on diligently, and everything takes time. We need to finish up the town hall. We came to the front side, one side last year. We only didn't do the other 2 sides because there wasn't enough funding. We wanted to move forward anyway, so that's why we left this till this year. So
Has to be done.
once again, it needs to be done, and the front really looks good since we had it painted. Once the memorial project is finished, the whole front of the town hall.
Yeah. Okay, can I have a motion to approve this request for price quotations, subject to any edits recommended by Tom Mullen?
Give me the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we have minutes of the August 9, 2021 meeting.
Give me a motion, Mr. Chairman, for August 9th, 2021.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, announcement, the Rowley Campus YMCA pool will continue to be open to Rowley residents on Tuesdays and Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. through Friday, September 3rd. Beginning on August 21, the Rowley pool will no longer be open on the weekends due to lifeguard staffing issues. On Saturday, August 21, Sunday, August 21, Saturday, and August 28, Sunday, August 29, Raleigh residents are welcome to use the outside pool at the Ipswich YMCA facility. Residents will need to show an ID and sign in at the front desk. Veterans Benefits presentation hosted by the Eastern Essex Veterans Services District on Wednesday, September 1 at the Byfield Community Arts Center, 7 Central Street, Byfield. This event is open to all veterans, families, and surviving spouses of those who served in the military. A representative from the VA will speak about VA healthcare enrollment and be available to answer questions. See the Town Hall website for more information. or call Veterans Director Karen Tyler at 978-356-6699. Here's a motion to adjourn is in order.
Any other motion, Mr. Chairman?
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. We are adjourned.